It is 5 o'clock. Call this meeting of the Beaufort County Board of Education to order. This is agenda setting meeting on Pi Day 314. Not a single smile.
Hey.
First order is the approval of the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda.
Thank you. Kathy seconds.
Yeah.
And
Yes, sir.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
3-0.
That was Frank trying to log in. I'm sorry. Angela made the motion, Kathy seconded, and it's all in favor. Unanimous.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Okay. We could stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our next item of business is approval of the March 7th committee meeting minutes.
I move we approve the March 7th committee meeting minutes.
I second that.
Angela, any discussion? All those in favor, aye.
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 3-0. Okay, Robin?
Yeah, I'm catching up. Hold on. Okay.
Now we get to setting the March 25th work session meeting agenda.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Let's see. Frank got on yet?
Yeah, Frank was on.
He was, and he bounced off, and he just called saying he was trying to get back on again. And let's see, there's Wendy. Right, he's not. Let's see. Well, I don't know what happened to Wendy either. Oh, let's.
Oh, there's Wendy. Okay, let's just roll forward. Frank will,
Okay.
as he can. The top part, of course, is boilerplate. That's fine.
Mhm. I didn't put times by anything. We just started at 9 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
Tanya has suggested this is the order because this is pretty much the Tanya show. So based off of the people who are coming in town and their schedule, she is suggesting that we leave it in this particular order. The only thing that I added at the end was the website preview, but everything else from the debt management, all of that is Tanya's suggestion based off of the people that she has coming and presenting.
Do we have any indication of the time required for these, just so we would know when would be a time to break for lunch? And I would just like to say that I'm hopeful that we can tackle this agenda in one day versus going into the next day, because the next day is the World Affairs
Competition.
competition. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think if you do it the way we did at the last meeting, we kind of, when we saw that we had a break, and that's when we kind of broke for lunch. We didn't have a specific time for lunch, but I just made sure lunch was ready by
Ready.
noon. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he had it ready around 11:30. So I think we were done like 11:15 when we actually broke for lunch.
Okay.
Frank
So,
is on now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
okay.
Okay, good.
All right, so what's the feel for the time required for everything that we're looking at here? Is this the full day right here?
Yes, sir.
That's going to take the full day. Well, that certainly makes this meeting kind of easy.
Right.
Our work
Um,
here is done.
I think Dr. Rodriguez can speak to about how much each of the areas would take time, because they had a senior staff meeting. So perhaps he can answer those questions for you.
Yes, and the order of certainly, I think the first 4 items is particularly important that way because of the needs of some of our outside presenters that are going to participate. So, the debt management conversation, they're very thorough, and they're very, I think, they give a lot of good information in a concise way. I think they're pretty good at that. But there's always questions and conversations there. So.
And that's Franny and Brian who are doing the debt management, correct?
Correct. Yeah. The TIF update, I would assume, might be about 20 or 30 minutes. The budget update, I would change the teacher salary on there, and I wouldn't necessarily list it as that. I would list it as employee compensation, because there's a host of things we want to talk about there. Some of it is teacher salaries, some of it is different bonuses and things like that. So we think that instead of saying teacher salary, if it would say employee compensation. But we think that the debt management is going to take about an hour. I would say the TIF update maybe about 30 minutes.
Port Royal is coming with this TIF update in Hilton Head, correct?
Yeah. So if I knew Port Royal was, I wasn't sure about Hilton Head. So if Hilton Head is coming, then it may be more than a half hour between the two, because the board may have questions.
Okay.
The employee compensation one will probably generate a lot of discussion too.
8% project discussion.
So I would change 8% project discussion and call it facilities master plan. And that will all be in there as well. That's going to be lengthy also, I think.
Procurement code review.
Yeah, I'm not sure that'll take an hour, but it could take 20 to 30 minutes, maybe, depending on if there's any extended conversation there.
And what gets this on the agenda? Did something change or?
Yeah, so one of the issues is, remember when we dealt with this once before, and I think there's a procurement exemption that the board allotted as a one-time exemption for our financial management, as an example. And we do need to address that again, because we're going to be in need to go out for additional bonds. And so the time clock on the 1 year is coming up. So that sort of has to be addressed if we want to keep the same financial management,
Okay.
financial advisor.
Okay.
And so I mean, the board can make a decision to, well, I won't get into that now. That's another conversation.
Yeah, I just want to, I don't want it to be a
Does that
very
help?
wide-ranging discussion of the procurement code, you know?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a wide-ranging discussion of the procurement code. It's specific to this issue, I believe.
Okay. Okay. Is there any way we could refine this then?
Yep. Absolutely. We can be specific about it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that'll help keep the discussion focused.
Perfect.
And I think Tanya said there is some updates to the state procurements so that she wanted to review with the board because they had some changes.
So even at that, we can be specific and say something
Yeah.
like state updates, you know, and then our own thing.
Website preview.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's going to be exciting. Okay. It sure looks like that's a full day to me.
Full day. Yeah, I agree.
So I don't think it would make any sense to look at our loose ends items and try to add anything to this agenda.
Mr. Scrivener?
Yes.
I do think that the order this time around is kind of particularly important, at least certainly in the front, you know, majority of this. So if we're looking to find a window for lunch in there, we can do that. And it's up to you whether you want to try to do that right now or have us figure that out.
Yeah, I think we'll just wait and see how it goes.
Perfect.
We'll
That
all,
makes sense.
yeah, we'll all be hungry around 11:30. I'll be able to see that in everybody's eyes.
Yes.
So we'll look for the natural break there.
Perfect.
Okay. I don't think there's anything more to do on this.
I agree.
I second that.
Well, I think we have it. Okay. Now, I was hoping we could get to the loose ends because I know they're starting to build, but there's just no time here. Okay.
For to put on another work session.
Yeah, we'll have to have another work session, I think.
Yeah.
We do have one scheduled in April. It's also a budget work session. So we do have one scheduled in April.
And maybe we can expand that then, because I'm pretty sure we have multiple items that we said we were going to do in a work session.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll visit that for the April one then. Okay.
It's April 22nd. It would be our next full day work session.
Okay.
But isn't that another day for budgets?
Yeah.
It is.
Is
So I'm
anybody-
wondering, yeah, if we could add another one
Mhm.
before the 22nd.
Well, you have in April, you have spring break and Easter holidays, so
Yeah,
We might, this is Frank, if I was looking at that list today, and if we can refine some of those in particular, some of them might take care of themselves. I mean, for example, there was a teacher salary one on there, right? Some of that is going to naturally take care of itself through the budget process. And I think there were one or two others that if we refine them a little bit, we might be able to also take care of more than just that budget workshop in that April meeting.
I have the list up if you want to look at it, and we can reclassify it if you want me to.
Well, the TIFs are going to be taken care of here, right?
right.
The Port Royal TIF.
So that's at March 25th work session. Social media, we said spring work session.
And that's one that needs a little refining too. I think that's an example of one. Is the specific conversation here about cyber vetting, or is this just a more general social media policy? Because I thought when it came up, it was about cyber vetting.
Yeah, I think when it came up, it was about employee.
Ingrid is online if you want to get specific, ask her specifically.
All right, yeah, Ingrid, I think this was yours, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it's generally about cyber vetting, but I think also we do not have a specific policy for employees in general on social media. And I think that the board should talk about that as part of our communications policies. But yeah, cyber vetting was the impetus behind it. Since then, there's been some other incidents. So you guys can focus it on cyber vetting, or we could just say, we need to think about how social media is being used. And I would give another example of the Ladies Island Middle School event. There's a lot of things where it would be good to have some policy.
Yeah. So one of the things, and when we have that conversation, we can delve into it. But we've gotten some legal advice around that. Those types of policies. So we can do if we focus on cyber vetting. I think that will be helpful in terms of fine tuning this particular request, and then at some point we can figure out how to have the other information shared about the legal advice.
Yeah, I think that's fine to start off at cyber vetting, and then as the issues come up, we can break them into other sections and see what needs to happen.
Perfect.
All right, so we're going to change that to, never mind. I'm still getting used to you being a step ahead of me all the time, Robin.
But the cyber vetting is what,
Yes.
Yes.
and also policy.
I think
I
just
said-
leave it with cyber vetting, but it will naturally arise some other issues that we can look at down the road, but we can start outlining what the needs are through cyber vetting. In my opinion, that would be my recommendation as someone who asked to have this looked at.
Okay, Mr. Smith?
What a part of that?
We can't hear you, Will.
I said, would a part of that possibly need to be an executive session?
You mean for the legal advice, you mean?
Right.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I will leave that to Wendy to break in if we wander into territory that should be executive session. Is that okay, Wendy?
Yes.
Yeah, you'll
I think
tell us.
anytime legal advice, it would need to be an executive session.
Okay.
And then we have some administrative regs that, talk about some issues about social media. We could talk about those in open session about our regs, but legal advice in executive session. So thanks, Mr. Smith. Good point.
So we'll have to, when we set the agenda for the spring work session, we'll have to remember that. And what is the next item?
The next one is the PAC updates. We asked that they come to a work session. So we had set a spring work session for them to come and give an update.
I wonder if that's something that could be worked into a regular board meeting instead of a work session. Usually they just give, like a 20-minute report or something, don't they?
Yes.
Yes, and I think I'm not really sure that many of them have met this year. With the COVID piece, so I'll find out where they're at and bring that back the next time we meet.
Okay.
Yeah, my feeling on that is if we could confine it to about 20 minutes, then we can certainly put it on our regular board meeting.
Yep.
And what we want to do is those things that tend to expand, we want to do in work sessions. But if we can keep that confined, then yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Do you want me to put it for a board meeting then? Label it? Or wait?
Yeah, I would wait. See if we can get a commitment on keep brief.
And if they haven't been meeting, then they may not have anything to report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Lessons learned during the pandemic. Lessons learned on student achievement during the pandemic. I'm not sure.
This one was mine, and I think actually we could talk about this, in June or after, even it started in an academic committee meeting. I would just like to hear what the, other than we think kids learn better in person, what else did we learn?
Right. Yeah,
So that could be an August work session then?
Yeah, I would put it in a work session for the full board to hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, work session is good. It's probably good timing.
William's hands up.
Yes, Mr. Smith.
Being that we already had the work session set up for the upcoming date, and we're working on the next work session, and we're not sure that was what can possibly come up between then and now. I was kind of thinking we could be possibly putting the cart before the horse, just in terms of what else may come up, what else may need to be on the work session. I understand if we were just getting an idea of what's all on there for the next one, but it's almost like we didn't schedule this to be a two work session meeting, but just a little concerned.
Right. I think what we're trying to determine here, Will, is whether we need to schedule a special work session before the April 25th one. I think that's why we're doing this.
Well, yeah, I do agree with that, but I do think we possibly may need a extra work session. I don't see where it may hurt, where it hurts to have that at. But to possibly kind of rush through things, I feel like we're rushing through it due to time. Yeah, I don't know how conducive that is for the good of the people. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Overview of special ed department. That's Yeah,
We
that's
have that as just a regular work
Yeah.
session.
certainly a work session topic. Discussion of transportation routes. I think that's work session. Teacher salary will be taken care of through the budget.
Right.
I think on that transportation route one, it's also, if it's not satisfied within the, I mean, I think that's one that we could probably take care of at a regular board meeting too, because I think Mr. Campbell was very specific about this one. And there are some factors that just would need to be shared with the board around it. And I think that transportation route one is one that I think could be done at a regular board meeting.
So we put the April 5th board meeting.
Yeah, I think we could do that then.
Is that fine with you all?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay.
Again, if there's any way we can refine that title to, because I agree with you, Frank. I think Earl has very specific issues that he was interested in.
Yep.
But I don't remember what it was. I don't know if it was dangerous stops or.
I do. Yeah. It was
And
about,
Mr. Campbell's on.
it was
Mr.
about one
Campbell?
particular neighborhood, I believe.
Yeah, I had two concerns. My concern is one on Bruce K. Smalls Road and also Paris Island Gateway.
Okay.
So what should we put there? Okay, on specific. That's good. Yeah. Okay, teacher salary being taken care of. Budget work session. Procedure for public comments. That's definitely a work session because I think it's kind of a broad-based discussion.
It's not super broad-based. Hold on, let me raise my hand.
Yeah. Well, it's been broad-based already.
I know, but we actually have a policy in our board. I forget right off the top of my head, but in our coherent government, we have a policy. I think we have an AR about public participation. And I just think we could make it narrow by looking at that and updating. The board's allowed to set whatever rules it wants for public participation. And so I think we could just look at it as a revise and update our current policy.
Policy or an AR?
I think
We do
it's
have a
both.
policy. We do have a policy.
Right.
It's
Okay.
board. It's not something that the district sets. It's what the board sets according to the law.
It's policy.
It's policy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
There you
have,
So
Yeah. Board policy.
that policy committee, is that where that should go? If we,
It could, I guess.
Yeah, if we said policy for public comments on public comments, and then we could have it taken care of by the policy committee.
Yeah, I just looking over that participation policy and looking at others around the state and around the country. I just think there's some things we should look at and consider to be more
Move it to the
effective.
policy committee.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. Update on logo, that's being taken care of.
Mr. Smith's hand is up.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Smith?
Don't worry about you already ruled on. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Thank you.
Okay. Participant AR in violation of OE 4.3. That seems like that's operations committee. Okay. Huh.
That comes under, that's HR, that's an HR. So I think
Right.
they're gonna cover it in operations.
Okay, good.
Yes, that's on the agenda for the 21st.
Okay. ESSER funds, possible use for COVID bonuses. I think it's just.
When we have that at this upcoming work session.
Yep.
right.
Okay. Wilson School District allowing.
No,
community-
that's Williston School District 29.
It's what?
Williston School District.
Williston.
Yeah,
Willis.
29. And I spoke with them today, so they're gonna be sending me some information.
Okay.
Can you type that? Because I can't understand. What?
Williston.
Williston, Liston.
Yes.
Okay.
There, you got it. Okay, and update on progress efficiency study is being taken care of. Okay. I feel better about our loose ends.
Ingrid, is your hand up? It was up and then it's down.
My only comment was going to be just in that the Williston School District discussion, Greenville also has that program under the Gateway to Alternative Teaching something. It's called the GATE program.
And I have information about a different program that I'm going to bring tomorrow. So.
Okay. All right.
So do we need to look at another date in April or?
Yeah, could you send out a query email
Okay.
and see, you know, if we have a quorum, if we can get a quorum.
Okay.
Is it
Thanks.
possible to have, I have a question. Is it possible to have that meeting the Thursday before the 21st?
The Thursday before,
The Thursday is the 21st.
yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
but the budget work session is on the 22nd, correct?
Second, right.
The 22nd. So if we're doing another work session, can we just do them back to back,
oh,
Thursday and Friday?
That'd be a good effort.
Yes, the 21st
Okay.
and 22nd.
See if we can get a quorum there.
to begin at what time or when? Is it like a all day, half day? When should I query people?
all
I
day.
think we should think about a full day.
Mhm.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah,
Got
those
it.
are the,
Hi, how are you? For, I've got actually,
Can't hear you.
He was talking to somebody
he
else.
was talking to somebody else, I
Oh.
think.
Anything else? Angela,
Nothing else from me.
Kathy?
No,
And there are no hands up, so I think this is appropriate time to adjourn.
okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.
Bye.